Vikings banter. We are out here. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Yeah. So, what are you thinking going into this? Have you watched the full slate? Now we're going into our game. Like, where's your head at going into the Rams game now?
Here we are. We don't really have many major injuries on either side of the ball. It's not going to play a factor for us, but schematically, we got beat, I think, pretty bad last week that we played them. Was it on Thursday Night Football? So we're at a point now. Can we stop Puka Nakua? Can we stop Cooper Cup? Are we going to be able to stop the Rams' high-powered offense? The Rams have looked vulnerable at times. I've sent you some um, information prior about that, how they've snuck by with a lot of their victories. So
Well, and
crossing
also
our,
let's think about this. A lot of the Rams are going to be saying, "Hey, let's win this for the city," right? There is
oh,
going to
right.
this overwhelming like, let's win one for the Gipper kind of element where you say, "Hey, we got to put this down for our city." So now there will be an emotional toll, which I would imagine at least friends, families of these guys are dealing with a lot of like devastation and stuff. But sometimes every once in a while, you really find it like within yourself to go and really change the landscape. LA now generally isn't like that type of city really as far as this type of element of like win one for the city, but
Mhm.
let's see if that's kind of the sentiment within the locker room. I haven't seen a lot of that yet. I haven't watched a bunch of Rams material. Um, but I would imagine that's what they're telling themselves in the locker room, right? And so
Yeah.
those sentiments and those sentimental games, um, you can be working against a lot as a team. So I think we'd feel more of that if we were actually in LA, though, right? Even again, I think the fact that it's in Arizona affects a little bit of that, like that morale building. We're in the trenches together as a community,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they come out if they're going to be sharp or if they're going to be distracted. It could also bode negatively for them as well. A lot of those
100%.
guys haven't been with their families. They're all worried about their families. Their mind is elsewhere. They're kind of like, they might even mail it in and be like, dude, I just want to get this season over with. Like, we're not going to go to Super Bowl.
Sure.
They might play like crap too. So keep that in mind. But let me run some of the stuff about the Rams. They haven't had a bunch of great games. They've snuck by opponents. Let's review some of the stuff about this Rams team. A lot of Vikings fans might not know about this because we only watch the Vikings, right?
And we
But
saw the best version, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
true, true. I think they played really well when we came and saw them, and I think we got to let's talk about the Rams Vikings game. When we played them, they won 28-20. That was the face mask in the end zone that really screwed us over at the end. There wasn't called. Cooper Cup came back. Was it Puka Nakua came back, killed us the whole game, and we didn't have linebacker Blake Cashman. That was a big difference for us, I think, too. He's such an important part of our defense.
And
So
Sean
28.
McVay had us by the balls the entire game, like gripping and
We
ripping.
came, well, yeah, you remember how we came out early? I believe it was 14-14 at one point. We lost our left tackle, so that was a big emotional blow during that game. But we came out early. We scored touchdown right away. They scored, we scored, and they scored. It was 14-14 at that point.
Yeah, it was just high
Um,
powered. Okay, this is going to be the best teams in the league, just firing at each other.
Right. So we'll see how we respond to this. But look at some of the other games the Rams have played. Rams Raiders. Raiders, one of the worst teams in the NFL. They won that game 20-15. Rams had forced 4 turnovers and still only won 20-15. Stafford had only 154 yards passing. Okay. Mind you, they played Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell during that game. Look at the other one. Rams Seahawks. Remember how we beat the Seahawks convincingly. Rams won that 26-20 in overtime. Seattle drove to the Rams 16 on the first possession of overtime and went for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking the field goal. And then also Seattle was playing without DK Metcalf. Let's go to the other game. Rams Patriots. Patriots also one of the first teams in the NFL. But they barely beat Patriots. Nothing to brag about. Patriots had the ball with a chance to drive for a winning score with under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Talk about that. Rams and Saints. Saints have been ugly all year as well. Ugly. Rams needed 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win 21-14. Saints settled for 3 field goals after driving the ball well in the first half, and New Orleans had the ball inside the Rams 10 late in the fourth quarter. Mm. Rams Bills. Rams were crushing the Bills 28-21 entering the fourth quarter. Josh Allen took over, leading the Bills to 21 fourth quarter points. It wasn't enough though, as Stafford hit Nakua for a key touchdown with 154 to go. But looks like Um, the Rams, the Rams almost pissed that one away. LA's offense was great, but the defense is horrid. So you've got to look at we will be able to score points against them. At least as if and only if Darnold cannot have the yips and look like shit against the Lions. Let's talk about another one. Rams Niners. They beat them 12-6 in the rain, excuse me. The Niners led 6-3 before the Rams kicked 3 field goals in the fourth quarter. Man, Rams win over the coach. Rams offense is again putrid. Stafford threw for 110 yards, even though he had Nick Cool to win. Okay, so they are. Long story short, in all of this is they are beatable. Things can happen in the game. They can give up points on offense. Their offense also can go dormant as well, even though they have Nakua and Cup there. So this team is definitely beatable. It's just whether or not Sam Darnold is going to show up. That's the key factor for me. That's the X factor. Is he going to have the yips? Is he going to miss open receivers? We should have had him way more first downs. Should have had a couple more touchdowns in that Lions game. We've harped on it quite a bit in that game, but it's going to come down to X factor Sam Darnold. Will he get that big contract with the W, or will he fade into the blackness and nothing? I don't even think in my opinion, we don't take him back if he plays like shit.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have another
Thoughts
game.
on that?
Yeah, I think again, I think he lost $10 million minimum last game, right? I think there's elements to that. Well, it's going to be discussed. Are you the guy? You're like the big one. Like everyone's
Mm.
like, oh my gosh, are you top five? Are you top five? The guy. Now it's like, okay, you're not that. Maybe you're top 10. This is that determinant of like, is a team going to even pick you up to the point of going, you're our playoff guy. And if he plays like crap this game, like 2 or 3 picks, and we get blown out, I don't think we consider him at all. Which I do think again is crazy because he's proven enough. Sometimes stuff just breaks down, but I think that he will be hurting if he is the reason we lose. Uh, Teams will, take a shot at him, but this is the difference between teams taking a shot and having like if he loses poorly here, I think he gets put into a competitive quarterback battle situation more than, hey, you're like the guy that we're going to put our chips into. You know,
Yeah.
as odd as that is with a great record. But enough people can kind of look back on the record and go, it's Justin Jefferson, it's the defense and all that. Look, I think we need to be optimistic. I think Sam Darnold definitely does show who he truly is. I think he is a third overall pick that got slotted into a difficult space and was given a lot of BS teams. This is his perfect formula. Uh, I think again, the way that the NFL media is, the way that fans like us are, we flip on and off so quickly. Uh, I also expect JJ to have a really, really big game. I think Addison steps up. I think our defense goes crazy. Um, Everything's set up perfectly for us to send the Rams home packing, let them kind of get back to like the cleanup efforts and do everything that they need to do at home to stabilize. And the Vikings can kind of move on to an NFL landscape within the playoffs that I think we can be very, very competitive in all the way to the end.
I hope you're right there, but again, the way that Darnold played last week doesn't really inspire me at all. If he's that Sam Darnold that we've seen all season, we have a chance. But if he's that guy that we saw against the Lions, playing like he had the yips, I don't see us competing at all. You're gonna see how he is early drives. First 2-3 drives are gonna be very indicative. And I think we'll be stuck with whatever Sam Darnold that is the rest of the game. If he's sharp and on fire, I think he'll continue to be like that the whole game. He'll carry his confidence in. But if he starts missing a couple throws early, we turn the ball over, things like that, then it's going to be a problem. I think he cannot throw interceptions. We cannot afford to lose this turnover battle. And we do have to force turnovers on defense. No
Yeah.
question about it. We got to stop him on fourth down. We got to get fumbles. We got to get picks. Something's got to happen here. I want to see Cam Bynum step up. He's in a contract year. We need something to happen here. If Harrison Smith's last game as a Viking, I want to see him come through, or second to last, whatever it is. I want to see him play like it's his last NFL game. I want to see guys like Ivan Pace, Van Ginkel step up. Josh Metellus is going to be an important factor for us as well. But again, it's going to come down to, I think, their wide receivers. Puka Nakua killed us. We had no game plan for him. We had no idea what
Yeah.
we were doing with him. Cooper Cup, only 5 catches for 51 yards. Our first time he did have a touchdown. They had their other receiver, Demarcus Robinson. Their wide receiver 3 had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. So if we can take care of the ball and Darnold can complete passes in a timely manner, no more
See, we
yips,
don't
no
even
more
need Darnold
bullshit.
to play well, though. We just need
We
him to be
do
able
need
to
him to play
play.
well.
No, we just need him to play football. Just like be a B plus quarterback. We don't need an A quarterback to win. That's what
Mhm.
happened. Like last week wasn't about him. Like he played F quarterback. If he played a C level that could just at least throw the ball towards Justin Jefferson at all and make it relatively catchable, we win that game. It
Mhm.
was scary. You saw a cuttable version of Sam Darnold last week. We go, wow, that's why Carolina is just like, yeah, we'll pick you up and let you go. That's why the Jets
Yeah.
are like, we're over this. That's why the, Niners are like, we're happy to have you inside our locker room, but you're never touching the field. It does suck. I feel bad for guys like that where you're people think maybe your true colors show kind of thing. I think his true colors are his, 14-2, 15-2 record that we can go on here and that we've had. What are we, 14-2, right? 14-3
Yeah.
now?
In the season, yeah.
Yeah,
14
so
and
I
3.
think that's his true colors that he just needs to prove. He does, all you have to if he throws a fade to Justin Jefferson in the corner of the end zone, we're not even having this conversation. So
Yeah.
let's get back to being able to throw a type of ball that some like eighth grade quarterbacks can throw.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to expect here. Cautiously optimistic. I can't go into this game with much confidence. We can't as Vikings fans. Playoffs, we've been browbeaten. It's been annoying. Like that's just our whole lives. We've been tortured in the playoffs. So, um, give me a prediction here. You want to talk about that, or what are you thinking?
I mean, yeah, I do think this is going to be relatively high scoring. Um, yeah, again, I think this is going to be. I do think unfortunately, I think it's a close game. I
Yep,
think
I think
this,
it'll be something that maybe come down to Reichard. Who knows? Hopefully
yeah, like
not.
31-28 is what I'm going to give it.
That's the one I had in mind as well. 31-28. I do think we hold in the field. I think there'll be more field goals too. So with that 28 number, I think it'll be like a 34 type, like a 34-38 type game.
Yeah,
Something like that, where we kind of pull it off, but we're not convinced. I think, yeah, 38-34 Vikings is my prediction there. But then again, who the hell are we to say and predict this game? It's just NFL playoffs with the Minnesota Vikings. Like,
how has the other
welcome to
slate
that.
been?
Yeah.
So, like all the other slates, like where are the playoffs at right now with how you've seen it fall? Are the better teams just showing up the way that you would hope?
So look at the Ravens Steelers game. That Ravens run game really stout. They had a possession. What is it? 14 in a row run plays. They jammed into the end zone. Ravens are looking really good. Steelers look like shit. Texans kind of surprised a lot of people there, but it was more like Justin Herbert throwing 4 interceptions. Eagles didn't play that well. They didn't inspire me, but they eked out a win 22-10. I think it was more Jordan Love playing like crap. Bills looked high powered. They looked good. Bills looked good. And then we got this Commanders Bucks game that I was kind of like, well, I'm watching right now. I think the Bucks, I think, will still pull it off here. But yeah, I think we just got to focus on our game here and not really look. It would be cool just to get the Lions, I think, for a third time. But I'm not. I almost like the Lions for a third time more than I like the Eagles at Philly.
I do too.
But Philly does look beatable. They didn't look that great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would rather play the Lions for the third time. Oh, just for the whole idea of like overcoming something, because you're gonna have to turn around and play a very good either, Chiefs or Bills team coming into the other side. And I think that like you're gonna have to prove it in a way, right? It's like that you can play to that level. And I only see Detroit being that level in the NFC right now, of that
Mm.
level of fear where you're like, okay, this is elite. Because Philly is played elite here and there, but are so on and off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect with this game. Good Darnold or bad Darnold. I think Kevin O'Connell comes out with a good game plan. We got to trust our head coach in that. But I really, truly, I'm lost with this one. I'm lost with this one. I want to say we'll win, but by a lot. But that I was just gonna say it again and again. That last week's game just demoralized me. I felt really fucked up over that. I didn't really think we had a shot to go to the Super Bowl after that. Like I just shattered my confidence I'd had all year. We rattled off 9 wins in a row, which is the second or third longest win streak in Vikings history. And then yeah, we got fucked. So
It's real.
just being as cynical as I can be, I don't know, with this, but sorry, Vikings fans. I want to inspire you more with this one, but it's like, damn, bro. Like my level of vibration with this one is very low. Like, it's just kind of a wait and see. I think everyone kind of feels the same way. This is kind of Minnesota sports for you right there. So,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's scary to know that that type of football is in Sam Darnold somewhere is scary. And you're like, if it can ever pop up again, like freaks you out. Um, I think
it
it came
does.
down. Our line also needs to just protect better. They got to realize what they have. And Sam Darnold, if someone's in his face right away, it gets pretty dicey quick. So let's try to figure that out. But look, we do have a chance. Neutral site, Arizona, which I would even say leans towards us. Everybody, we got punched in the face. I think we have a lot of locker room talk, a lot of material to say. Let's like refigure out ourselves. We can't go out like this. We're
What
too
do you
good of a
think?
team.
Let me ask you about the Rams coach, Sean McVay, posting Dan Campbell talking to Kevin O'Connell after our loss and going, see you in 2 weeks, right? That was bulletin board material for the Rams to inspire them in this game. What do you think of that moment?
Yeah, I think that's I think it's smart of him to like look at this. I think it's going to be easier for him to lean into what's happening with the fires in Los Angeles now. I think the idea that the Vikings are maybe like more looked at and all that, I think that all can kind of go out the window. It's do it for your family, do it for your city. I would keep that on the bulletin board more than like we're disrespected at this point. Uh, the Rams are only disrespected because of their record. Like if they actually didn't play so poorly in different times, people would be all over the Rams because they've gone the distance. They have so much of the nucleus that has taken them all away that if you like had a good record and played well during crucial games this year, the media would be all over you. You're LA. It's your fault that the media doesn't look at you fondly. So all that you can be like, oh my gosh, like Dan Campbell's saying that. It's like because Dan Campbell knows darn well that we're probably his most formidable opponent in that space. But again, the Rams, I think they've actually underplayed their talent a lot of the time. They also it took them a while to get healthy, so now everybody kind of comes back in full picture. But I still think we can chop their legs out from under them this game and send them home to let them go rebuild again. But they have been and they still will be. They are, I think, the scariest team for the Vikings in the offseason or anytime for one particular reason. I think that this is a very difficult game mentally for Kevin O'Connell to overcome Sean McVay. When you're in Sean McVay's aura, everyone goes, he's the young boy genius. This is boss baby. This is the most brilliant person in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. He had to believe and he had to live in that ecosystem for such a period of time, and he even saw he was a part of the system that helped that system win. That's a difficult situation to then turn around and go, now I'm going to overcome you, right? It's overcoming your sensei is very very difficult. So I think him winning this game tomorrow or today is what is actually the biggest hurdle that we should celebrate. Where it's like, dude, you beat Sean McVay and you're Kevin O'Connell. You should be really proud. Because there's elements to him that probably sit around and be like, hey, Sean McVay, help me get this head coaching job. You got to
For sure.
overcome all that mental stuff with that.
For sure. I think the difference between Kevin O'Connell being a good coach and a great coach is going to be this game. I think we look at him if he can take care of McVay and stupefy us with what he does, comes out with a great game plan. Awesome. But I think you just have to put him in that good coach category and not great coach category if he loses.
Yeah.
Period. Sad to say, but that's what it is in the NFL. It's either put up or shut the fuck up. So that's where we're at with it. I look at him being a great coach in the NFL if we can take care of business. And then the following week, how are we going to match up against Dan Campbell? Right. I mean, looking ahead with these next two games are going to be a strong indicator or not of what the hell we have the guy under the headset or not.
I truly, you're totally right. Like, because we're so hodgepodge, if you can win one playoff game with
Mhm.
this collection of misfits, that is overcoming something wild in the NFL. And it's
Yeah.
so weird how it is down to like the difference of 60 minutes of how you played, even with the record that you've had. But the playoffs, there is this different energy that happens. And there's guys that know how to play within that, and there's guys that don't. And that comes to coaching too. There's coaches that know how to coach the playoffs, there's coaches that don't. Um, let's see if he can get this team and has already gotten this team prepared for what's going to happen today, because that's what it's all about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then looking ahead to next year too, I think if he loses this game, we have to see how he responds the following season because this was supposed to be a rebuilding season for us. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, look at our expectations that we had coming in. We had the bridge quarterback. We didn't really have the guy that we drafted. Like he was out with a meniscus all year." And this was supposed to again, people are going to go on and on now with the dead money that we had with Daniil Hunter, or the dead money we had with Kirk Cousins, and so I kind of I look at it positively, even if we do lose this game, and saying, okay, we have a lot of good pieces. Kevin O'Connell, I think, will have to look at himself in the mirror, go back to the drawing board, run up a whole bunch of new offensive concepts if we lose. Um, but to see how we respond next year, even if we lose, is something that I'm more anticipated in seeing. I hate to say it, guys, but I just don't think this is the year for us. I think win or lose this game, we're going to lose the next game, regardless.
God, you're massive.
Shit, I know, but this is again, it's our rebuilding year. I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah.
But
So be happy with getting the 14 wins, and
there's not a team in the NFC that we can't beat. So I don't know why you're so like scared. There's
the
not
way
one
that we
team.
played against the Lions destroyed me. It wrecked me. It was like getting beat up in a dark alley late at night and thinking, am I ever going to be able to fight again? Like it's one of those, it's the one where Mike Tyson got hit in the eardrum, never recovered, was never the same after that. I can't remember what fight that was, but it's just like, it was like Anderson Silva breaking his leg against that one guy. Um, Widener, whatever his name is. I can't remember that fight now, but that was just a back-breaking one, and for me, that's what it was. I hope the guys can circle the wagons and get out of their heads about it, but
You're
I really
stuck.
don't know. I'm stuck, bro. I'm stuck. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of this. Skol Vikes, over and out. We love you all. Like, help Johnny Sweets get out of this freaking misery.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Like that's just what the game ended like to me, and I think everyone was real shocked and disappointed. And what's to say that Detroit doesn't do it again to us the following week, right?
If we got donkey punched like that for the third time in a row,
What do you say to that? Yeah.
You like I really go back to like old school Vikings days. You have to immediately you have to kill somebody off to reestablish dominance. So I would like let's say we like lose by 30. I think you have to walk in the locker room and immediately kill Will Reichert. Just gun him. And then go, look, that's what happens when you lose. You all made me do that. Right? And I didn't mean like I
I look at
don't mean
how
kill. I didn't mean like behead. I said like cut. That's what I meant. Cut. Like cut him off the roster, not behead. That'd be crazy.
I look at how we play on defense too, and how focused are we going to be on defense? I don't know if Brian Flores is now interviewing for head coaching jobs. Does he or does he not walk if we lose this game? These are the kind of storylines that I'm focusing on. Do we lose our wide receiver coach, Keaton McCardell? I think he wants to be an offensive coordinator. Do we lose Wes Phillips maybe offensively? Do they shake up the offense a little bit like that? Um, what happens with that? Are we going to lose that guy, Grant Udinger, who's the a special assistant for quarterbacks? Are we going to lose Josh McCown as quarterbacks coach? These are some of the things that I watch out for and look for.
Well, I
So,
think of Josh McCown as quarterback coach. If we lose this and we lose it like we lost in Detroit, he might have to switch jobs. It's like, okay, you
yeah.
can't quarterback coach.
But then again, we'll circle back to this as a rebuilding
But
year. We're supposed to win 4 or 5 win
if we
years.
win,
If we
like
win,
five,
we're all delusional. We're back to being delusional again. We're going, okay,
yes,
we got a
let's get
shot at beating
delusional
Detroit.
again. I want to be
I
back
want
there.
to,
I
man. I
love that.
want to. I
That's my
want to.
favorite type.
Hmm.
I want to I want to be back where John's like just firing, delusional, just being
Yeah.
crazy, being like Jordan Addison's the greatest receiver. Like you're buying a Darnold jersey and get doing the gritty. And like Luke's mad at you because you just ruined his career by buying a jersey. All of that.
Right. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I need. All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Talk to you.
See you, bro. Skol. Love y'all. God bless. All right.